Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Sherman and this is Sherman Spectrum, where we get to talk about LGBTQ queer content all around the world. And in today's video, we are going to be taking a close look at the film Close. So Close is a 2022 A24 new film written and directed by Lucas Dont and Angelo Tissin. The film stars the beautiful characters Eden Dambry, who plays the character Leo, and Gustav de Velle, who plays the other main protagonist, Remy. Now, I don't want to spoil the film too much, especially for those of you that would like to watch the film when it is finally released next year, because I was kind of lucky enough to get to watch it last week, which is thank you so much to A24 Films. But for those of you who want the non-spoiler review, basically from the trailer, it tells a story about these two 13-year-old boys, Leo and Remy, who basically spend a wonderful summer in France. It's a French-Belgian film, so they kind of spend the summer in France, and basically they have this really, I don't want to say intense relationship, but remember, they're two 13-year-old boys and they seem to have a relationship that is almost considered to be best friends, like real best friends at the age of adolescence who don't really know much about being a young teenager. You know, they're on the cusp of becoming these adults, these young adult men. So what happens once these two young adults finally, or young teenagers, these young teenage boys finally return back to school? They're sort of treated as if they're outcasts. And this is where the film starts to enter into its premise, because we start to see that Leo starts to realize that there might be something wrong with his relationship with Remy, as both of them are now being questioned if they're a couple or not. And Leo sort of goes off defending, himself and Remy, that no, they're not couples, they're not dating, they're just really, really close. And one of the girls one of their classmates even goes as far as to saying, yeah, well, they're best friends and she's best friends with her best friend, but they're not seen cuddling and holding each other. And well, Leo just goes off saying that they're close as if they're actually brothers, and when he sort of looks at Remy, for like backup, Remy kind of just accepts the fact that, this is happening to them. And this is sort of where the film sort of breaks off into the trauma that happens later in the film. Now, I'm not going to explain what does happen later in the film because I want you guys to watch it, but it's kind of tragic and sad because this film really almost brought me to tears. I was on the cusp of crying because it's sad. And when I mean sad, I don't mean sad as in what happens to one of the characters is sad. I mean, it's sad as how both of these characters, or why Leo breaks off contact with Remy, because basically the society and everyone around them sort of lets them down because they're sort of seen as the outsiders who has a weird relationship with one another, where the whole idea or the whole plot of what the director Lucas was trying to tell us here is that how close should two men be together, or should two boys be together? What is considered the appropriate closeness for friendship? And this film is really trying to challenge us on that. And what I also really loved about the film is that both Eden and Gustav, who are brand new actors to the industry, played such an authentic role and were basically acting as 13-year-olds. They didn't age them up, they didn't make them wise enough. You don't get a lot of response from Leo because he really doesn't know what is happening. And this is something that you would expect from a 13-year-old boy. He's not going to give you an in-depth answer as to why he's breaking away from his friend. Maybe it's the fear of being called queer. He does not want to be stigmatized as well with Leo, because throughout the film we basically get to see that it is Leo who gets most of the bullying. He's the one who is called queer, he is the one who gets attacked, and it starts to affect him more than it affects Remi. But although him pulling away from Remi sort of does lead to Remi thinking that maybe there's something that he did that why Leo is pulling away from him, and he doesn't really understand because Leo isn't really saying anything, and they end up having a huge fight, which sort of just results in this massive breakup. And basically by the end of the film, which I cannot really tell you guys about, we basically get to see how both of them start hanging out with different people. Now, a part that takes it away from the film is makes it sad for me is watching these really two close friendships fall apart. Not to mention the scenery of the cinematography. The scenery is beautiful. I love how a lot of the perspective is really focused on Leo more than it is on Remi, and I would have liked to have seen that a lot more within the film. The film is about 2 hours long, and we mostly just get one-sided perspective view, and that's from Leo's side. And it's either Leo is really running away from who he is, or he's afraid that if he does accept this part of himself, whether it's, you know, whether he is queer or whether there is something more to his closeness with Remi, but he's not quite sure of it yet because he doesn't have to figure it out yet. He's only 13 years old. Both of them are. They don't have to have definite answers, at least not yet anyway. And it would be great if we could live in a society where, you know, they could accept the fact that their closeness is just that of innocence, because that's what it looks like as a viewer when you watch the film. You know, you would kind of get the idea that they're brothers, but they're not. They're just friends who are starting to understand what it feels like to be physically vulnerable or emotionally vulnerable with someone else who happens to be your best friend. Now, I do believe that the film is expected to be released next year, January 2023, but I do believe you might be able to watch it online or stream it online. I'm not quite sure, but please do yourself a favor and go and see this film when you get the chance. It is amazing. It is beautiful. So if you would like to see more content like this, please remember to like, share, and tell me in the comments below, have you guys heard about this film? Have you guys seen the trailer? Are you guys looking forward to watching Close? I definitely am. I definitely loved it, and I cannot wait to hear what you guys think about it. So my name is Sherman, this has been Sherman Spectrum, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!